Anushka, you have the presentation, right? Yeah.
Can you do a slide share, Anushka?
Mm. So is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible. Please check
I'll
if the
start.
slide. Can you do a slide share? Can you put the presentation in
Yeah.
the slide share format?
Yes, yes.
All right, perfect. ठीक है, हो रहा है. हाँ, great. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. All right. We can wait for others for like another 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then we can start off.
Yes, okay.
So mixed students are requesting that they can't join. If we can allow them in.
Yeah, yeah, please ask them to join. I have admit all the whosoever has joined this tablet. Hmm. I think till now we have only 7 members. Rest has not joined yet.
So we have only Shruti and Vachi from Yuva, I believe. The others
Uh,
are from BC.
yeah, yes. Sonal, can you ask everybody to join if you have any group or anything?
So they're saying they're in the waiting and they're waiting to be allowed for the class.
Now this
Ashita joined.
Ashita has joined.
There's
Can you ask
you can
everybody to try again?
also, sir, you can make others as co-host. Maybe you can make me and
Yeah.
Anushka as
हाँ,
co-host.
just
So Rashika has joined, Ashita has joined now.
add as co-host. So Ambika, I had make you Anushka and making you also as a co-host. Yeah, Ambing and Anushka are co-host now.
Hmm. We have Ashita, Rashika, Shruti, and Vachi. I guess others would be joining us. Sonal, can you check with others if they're still not able to join?
So only Zara is facing the difficulty. She's posted in the group, and I'm asking others to join as well.
Yeah, let us know when we can start.
Yeah, allow me 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and then I'll let you know. Others are facing little issue with the link. They're joining. I've shared the link again. So they're joining now. So we can start now the class. Anushka, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So, hello everyone. Good evening. I hope you all are doing well. So, today's session is going to be about cognitive processes and problem solving. So, you guys are requested, you can just turn on your camera, as this is going to be a very interactive session and not just just only in one way.
Ma'am, I won't be able to switch on my video today because I'm on data, so it might get over like quicker. But I'll be active and I'll keep participating.
Yes, no problem, no worries. So, let's begin. So before getting into the topic, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Anushka Bhosle. I'm a counseling psychologist from Listen. And the topic that we are going to cover today is cognitive processes and problem solving. And we will identify cognitive processes, and the focus will be on reasoning and solving problems. Also, how our brains make decision and process information and get through difficulties is what we are going to do in the session today. So before getting into the topic, we'll just have a very quick and easy riddle rush. So I'll ask you some riddles and you have to answer me. So the first is what has a head and tail but no body? You guys can just unmute and answer.
A coin.
A coin.
Right, that's right. What has to be broken before you use it?
An egg.
Right. The next is the more you take it, the more you leave behind. What am I?
Steps.
Right. Last one. You see me once in June, twice in November, and not at all in May.
The letter E.
Yeah, that's right. So like a very easy riddles this one. So I thought just getting into the topic, we'll just have some quick activity. So let's get into the topic. So what is cognition? Have you guys heard the word before? What is cognition and what it means? Do you have any idea?
Yes. So cognition is basically every like mental process that our brain does. It includes a lot of things like memory, language processing, learning is a big part of cognition, and so these encompass, like it's written on the slide as well, all
Yes,
the
yes.
mental processes.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So as it's written on the screen, cognition encompasses all mental activities related to processing information, and it includes several functions, which include perception, memory, thinking, and problem solving. So, perception is the process of organizing and interpreting sensory information to understand our environment. For example, when you see a dog, so your eyes detect the light, then your brain interprets these signals to recognize the shape, size, and color of the dog. Another example can be you can recognize the voice of a friend in a crowded room. Cognition also includes memory. So, as we are all familiar with this word, so memory is the ability to store and retrieve information over time. So, memory has types: short-term memory, long-term memory. It hold short-term memory is basically which holds information for a temporarily or for immediate use, and long-term memory is which stores information for longer periods of time. And cognition involves problem solving, thinking. So thinking is the process of manipulating information mentally to form concepts or to solve problem, make decisions, and reflect upon it. And the another uh, uh, another which cognition which involves is problem solving. So it is the process of finding solutions to difficult or complex issues. So this problem solving is one of the concepts which we are going to focus in this session. And also cognition is it generally allows us to understand and interact with the world around us, which helps to guide our actions and decisions. So the next section is types of thinking. So a very like basic and very fun and easy explanation of thinking is when I ask you some question, the next process that you are going to do is like think. So thinking is necessary for us to for problem solving, acquiring new knowledge, understanding concepts, and like processing our experiences. It includes the entire process of learning, remembering, and mentally organizing in order to. Has someone raised their hand? Okay, so it includes the entire process of learning, remembering, and mentally organizing knowledge in order to better understand so that we can recall it later. So we'll look at different types of thinking, and it can be thinking can be categorized into critical thinking, creative thinking, and logical thinking. So first that we are going to look into is critical thinking. So, critical thinking is analyzing information, identifying biases. So, first, analyzing information is like breaking down information into parts so that you can understand it better. For example, when you are reading a history book, so analyzing will involve looking at the main events, causes, and what are the consequences. So, you analyze it thoroughly. Um Critical thinking also involves identifying biases. So, identifying biases means recognizing the personal or external biases that might affect the interpretation of information, making reasoned judgments. So, drawing conclusions based on the evidence and logical reasoning. So, for example, after gathering facts and evidence about a scientific theory, so making a reasoned judgment involves concluding whether the theory is supported by data and other, like it has some specific information or has a support of something. So the steps in critical thinking are questioning assumptions. So this is like you don't take information just looking at the surface or just looking at the surface face value of it. So you will just question the underlying assumptions. For example, if someone says all students hate homework, so a critical thinker would ask, like, is this true for all students? Are there studies or surveys that support this claim? Critical thinking is also about assessing evidence. So looking for credible and relevant evidence to support our whatever the claims are that are made. It's about thinking systematically, thinking systematically is approaching problems and decisions step by step. So for example, if you're planning for a project, so systematically thinking will involve setting goals, gathering resources, and like creating a timeline, or like how will you be going step by step. So as there's this example given, which is evaluating a news article. So for example, if you read an article about a new education policy, so analyzing information would be to break down the policy details and its potential impacts. Identifying biases will be to consider if the article is written like from a particular political perspective or social perspective or any other economic or any other perspective. You will just identify the biases. Then it will involve making reasoned judgments. So, like based on the evidence which is provided and your own research, you will decide whether you think the policy will be beneficial or not. So, critical thinkers are someone who make informed decisions, and they solve the problems effectively. Next type of thinking is creative thinking. So, creative thinking is the ability to generate new ideas and find innovative solutions to the problems. So, it involves using imagination and seeing things from like different perspectives. It helps you to approach challenges in unique ways, and you can when you are thinking creatively, you can come up with your own original solutions. So it helps you to let your mind explore possibilities without being uh, constrained by the usual rules or limitations. And it helps you to look at situations or problems from multiple viewpoints to gain new insights. So there are various techniques that can be used to enhance creative thinking. One is brainstorming. You might have heard about brainstorming. Do you guys have any idea what brainstorming is?
Basically, when you try to allow yourself or allow your mind to just think as creatively as possible, try to come up with ideas that are not exactly conventional. Anything just comes to mind, you sort of try to make it a concrete idea.
Right, absolutely correct. So it is like generating as many ideas as possible, maybe in a short period, without, as you said, like judging or evaluating them. So, for example, if you have a group project, so you might brainstorm all possible topics and approaches like before selecting the best one. Another is like another uh, creative thinking which involves is mind mapping. So it is like creating a visual diagram that connects ideas around a central concept. So which helps you organize and expand your thoughts. And next is free writing. So writing continuously for a set period without worrying about any grammar mistakes or any spelling mistake, just allowing your ideas to flow freely. So next type of thinking is logical thinking. So logical thinking uses structured reasoning to solve problems and make decisions. So it involves processes like deduction and induction, which helps us approach problems like methodically and in a consistent way. So the key process in logical thinking is deduction. So deduction is the process of deriving specific conclusions from general principles or general premises. So, for example, if it is an example is given, if it is raining, the ground will be wet. So the premise two will be yes, it is raining. So the conclusion will be yes, therefore the ground is wet. And the next is induction. So induction is the process of generalizing from specific instances or observations to form broader generalizations or theories. So induction is a logical process where general conclusions are drawn from specific instances or observations. So unlike deduction where the conclusion is guaranteed if the premises are true, so inductive reasoning leads to conclusions that are like based on some evidence. So induction example can be like if you have experienced heavy traffic, the route that you are going every day at 5 p.m. So you will expect that it will be the same tomorrow. So the main difference between deduction and induction is that deduction is about applying existing rules to specific cases, whereas induction is about creating new rules based on some observed patterns. So the next that we are moving onwards is problem solving. So like in cognitive psychology, the term problem solving refers to mental processes that people go through to discover, analyze, and solve problems. So a problem exists when there is a goal that we want to achieve, but the process by which we will achieve is not like very obvious to us. So there is something that we want to happen in our life or want to occur in our life, yet we are not immediately certain that how we will make it happen. So problem solving involves several stages. These are identifying the problem, analyzing the problem. Third is generating possible solutions. Uh, Fourth is evaluating and selecting the best solution. And fifth is implementing the solution. So we will understand every stage one by one. So the first step in problem solving, which is like a very crucial step, is which is identifying the problem. So it involves recognizing that an issue exists. So understanding its nature and defining the scope and components of it. So it is clear. Clear problem identification sets the foundation for finding effective solutions. So the first step to identify the problem is like recognizing that a problem exists. If you're not aware, keep problem hai hi nahi. So the main thing is identifying the problem so that you can later work on it. For example, a student has been aware or notices that they are consistently getting low grades in maths. So they will so the student might be not sure whether the problem is due to any difficulty with specific topics, or it is getting difficult for them to manage time, or there is lack of study time, or it might be because they are facing the issue with actually solving maths problems. They are not sure yet, but they have just identified now that there is a problem, that they are not getting good grades in maths. Next is analyzing the problem. So analyzing the problem involves exploring its causes and consequences to understand the problem more deeply and in a more detailed way. So this steps requires gathering relevant information, identifying underlying factors, and understanding the relationship between different elements of the problem. So effective analysis provides insights that will lead to better solutions. So gathering relevant information is collecting details and data that are related to the problem. So as the example was, if a student, so the student has identified that they are getting low grades, so 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 the student might gather information like from the past test scores or their homework assignments or assessment that they have been doing, and they will gather feedback from the teachers. So in this way they will gather relevant information. Then they will see like what is causing the problem and try to get into the root causes, and understanding the relationship between different elements. So they will analyze how various factors are interacting or contributing to their problem. Next is generating possible solutions. So generating possible solution involves coming up with a wide range of potential answers so that a problem can be solved. So in generating possible solutions, first is like brainstorming. So as we discussed before, that brainstorming is coming up with any going through ideas or just seeing on the face value like, yeah, उस टाइम पे हम क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. So like approaching the problem from a different angles to find different solutions. So instead of just focusing solely on the academic improvements, a student might explore other ways to boost their overall performance, like how they can manage their time in a more better way, and how they can use techniques or some relaxation things that will help them to reduce the stress. So this stage sets the foundation for selecting and implementing the most effective way so that the problem can be solved. And next is evaluating and selecting the solution. So it is the stage where we assess the potential solutions that were generated in the previous step. So establishing criteria for evaluation. So they will determine the criteria against which each solution should be evaluated. So one of the thing is feasibility. So feasibility is whatever I have thought of, can it be implemented, or will it solve my problem? So the effectiveness sees that whatever I have been thinking of, will it solve my problem? And then the potential consequences of it. So they will think like what are the risks and benefits of it. Even if I try to use this solution, what will be the pros and cons of it, or risks and benefits of it? So analyzing the pros and cons of each solution based on the established criteria. So the student might list advantages and disadvantages of each potential solution, so that it will help them for the better understanding and also to solve the problem more effectively. And next is like implementing the solution. So it involves whatever the like idea you have selected, so putting it into action. So the steps to implement the solution is creating a detailed action plan. So you will break down the solution into specific tasks and steps. You will the student might assign responsibilities for themselves or set specific timelines and allocate resources. So allocating resources is ensuring that all necessary resources which are important, which is time, money, any personal materials they are going to need, that are available for successful implementation of the solution. So executing the plan, so like putting the plan into actual action by carrying out the tasks as they have scheduled, and monitoring the progress like very closely to ensure that like everything is going according to what they have planned. And next is monitoring and reviewing. So after implementing a solution, the next critical step is in problem solving is to monitor the outcomes. What will be the outcome of what solution they have applied, and reviewing the process. So after a solution, it put in is to put into action, is it's important to observe how it performs. So monitoring involves might be collecting data and feedback to see if the problem is resolved effectively. For example, if a school implements a new study schedule for students, so they will they have implemented it to see the how is the exam performance, how will the exam performance will be. So monitoring would involve tracking students' grades or their attendance and engagement over time. So reviewing basically means going back to evaluating the steps that were taken during the problem solving process, and it's about understanding what worked well and what didn't. So it might also involve like making adjustments. So based on monitoring and reviewing, they might see if there are any adjustments that might be necessary. So this could mean altering the solution slightly, or taking a different approach altogether if the initial solution didn't work well. So this was about problem solving and the steps that are involved in problem solving. So problem solving is not like a flawless process, as there are number of obstacles that can interfere with our ability to solve a problem. So to solve a problem very quickly and efficiently, so it will not be always a flawless process. So these obstacles, or these we can call these barriers, can stem from mental blocks or cognitive biases or emotional obstacles. So understanding and overcoming these barriers is like the key to finding successful solutions or solving the problem more effectively. So mental blocks are the obstacles that prevent us from thinking clearly or like creatively. So they often arise from very rigid thinking patterns, or in specific habits that are very rigid. For example, if you need to draw a perfect circle and you don't have a compass, so like a fixed solution, like a fixed traditional way of thinking might be that you might think that the only way I can use a compass, that is the only way that to draw a circle, the only way is that I can only use a compass, and you will like just overlook other possibilities. But the solution can be placing a coin on the paper, or any other like bangle, or like tracing around it with like without like with a pencil, and then you can draw a perfect circle. So here the coin is repurposed for its traditional use, and as a like to draw the whatever like the circle you have to draw. So mental blocks, specifically functional fixedness, is that you just see a specific problem from a traditional view, and you do not see any other solutions, or you just overlook other possibilities. Another barrier is like cognitive bias. So cognitive bias is like a shortcut that our brain takes when we are making decisions. So instead of thinking things through like careful and in a proper manner, our brain might rely on past experiences or emotions or habits to make a very quick decision uh, in a, like a very shortcut way. So this might save time. It can also, but it can also lead to mistakes. We are not considering like all the information, and like we are not thinking logically. So one such cognitive bias is confirmation bias. So it is a specific type of cognitive bias where we tend to focus on information that supports what we already believe, and ignore information that challenges those beliefs. So it's like wearing glasses that only let you see things that you agree with, or things that you are agreeing with only your opinions. For example, if you believe that eating chocolate every day is healthy, you might pay more attention to studies or articles that say chocolate has healthy benefits. So, and while you ignore or dismiss studies that point out the downsides of eating too much chocolates, so your brain is looking for the proof that you are right, even if it means overlooking any important information. Next barrier to effective problem solving might be emotional obstacles. So emotions are like very significant that impact our ability to solve problems. Stress and fear of failure are common emotional barriers that can cloud our judgment and reduce creativity, and which might lead to like very hasty and poor decisions. So as we discussed about thinking, types of thinking. So can you just brainstorm and think about any ways that which enhances our thinking skills? Any regular practices or yes?
So one thing we could do to enhance our thinking is basically uh, being able to like take a step back and just trying to observe more than actively, trying to take part. And this
Right.
will also like help us like wonder or think about certain aspects of the situation from different perspectives rather than
Right.
our own. And
Yes.
other than that, like daily activities that we could like pursue our own hobbies, so that whatever we're thinking we can put it down into like either music or art or something which will enhance our imagination as well.
Right. Absolutely correct. So these are the things which might enhance our thinking skills, right? Anything, anyone else that can just answer?
We could try out brain games on like a daily basis to help us think outside the
Right.
box.
Right. Yes. Yes, that is also a way to enhance our thinking skills. Correct. So yeah, as you would rightly pointed out, there are so enhancing thinking skills involve very different strategies that stimulate and which will help us to expand our cognitive abilities. So here are also few strategies that are explained. So practicing mindfulness. Have you heard about it? What is mindfulness? What it means? Yes.
So being aware of your surroundings and maybe like practicing visualization so that we can think more clearly. So this is like one of the things you can do to enhance thinking skills, and it definitely helps us a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
True.
I would also
So
like to
like
to that
yes,
exact
yes.
statement that Vachi made, just like one extra addition to that statement, that it's also like completely free of bias. And mindfulness is basically like exactly what she said, but also about not uh, putting your opinion before others. It's like trying to understand a situation holistically.
Right. So not judging yourselves, or not like without any judgment. You
Yes,
just be in
judgment.
that, right. Yes, that's right. So it involves being fully present and being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings in the moment without any judgment. So this is something that can enhance your focus, clarity, and overall function. So practicing mindfulness on a daily basis, it can be anything, like even if you are eating, you are having a lunch, breakfast, or any meal. So just being in that moment, seeing what is on your plate. So like we rather than watching anything like on like a series or watching phone, you can just be mindfully eating. It can also involve mindful walking or mindful studying. So just being in that moment, so that in a way that you are also aware of your thoughts and like the surrounding around you without any judgment. Enhancing thinking skills also involve as someone rightly pointed out, engaging any regular mental exercises such as puzzles, logic games, and reading, that will help you to keep the brain active, and which will also improve problem solving skills, your memory, and creativity. Also learning new skills, so it might be anything like learning a new language or learning something that you always wanted to do, or learning any music instrument or a new hobby, which will stimulate the brain and which will encourage your like cognitive growth. So this process is built which it builds your neural connections that can improve various aspects of thinking, such as memory, like flexibility and creativity. Also, one of the process strategy that can be helped to enhance your thinking skills is reflecting on one's thought processes. So reflection involves taking some time to think about how you think, and just getting a step back and analyzing your thought patterns, any biases that you are been making, and that will help you to make your decision process go smoothly, and which will help you to make decisions more effectively. So this practice helps develop self-awareness and critical thinking skills. And now, can you think of any uh, prob- problem solving strategies that will be helpful? Yes.
So there's a strategy in business as well, where we use
Okay.
the 5 why technique. It's basically like asking
Can you
five.
repeat?
It's the 5 why technique, like five
Okay.
why.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you basically ask the question why 5 times, and you keep answering it till you get to the root cause of the problem. So
Okay. That's
this
interesting.
one technique, yeah, I just wanted to share it along. So like it's helpful in business as well as psychology, because if we're looking at it from a business point of view, it's a separate
Hmm.
thing, because root causes can be a lot of things and can be fixed in
Hmm.
different ways. But when we look at it from a psychological point of view, there are so many deep rooted causes to a certain problem that we never uncover. So like if you keep asking yourself why, whether it's like I'm feeling a certain way, or why am I in this situation, or like just asking yourself questions on how to solve the problem, and
Hmm.
you'd get to the actual cause of it.
That's interesting. Even I have heard of this first time, but yeah, like from a psychological point of view, it is also like very important to get into the root cause. Yeah, that's very interesting. Anyone else?
Yeah, one aspect of it is that the what Zara said, that analyzing the problem,
Hmm.
getting the deep root cause, and then the other one is that you can use trial and error, or just maybe you can use a solution that you have already used, if something similar to that happened and it worked in the past, so you can use that.
Yes, that is one of the way that we will be talking about. So here is like a very a few explanations of few problem solving strategies and how they work. So one is algorithms. So an algorithm is like a step-by-step procedure or formula for solving a problem. It involves specific rules or a series of instructions so that you arrive at a solution. So algorithms are very systematic, and like when we apply them correctly, there will be a guarantee that an accurate answer we will get. So, for example, like if you're following a recipe to bake a cake, so it might involve a step-by-step instruction like preheating the oven, then mixing flour, sugar, baking powder, any or salt or any other products that you are going to use. Then uh, in another bowl, you might mix eggs, milk, and butter. So you will not just jump onto any the next step, but it is a very systematic procedure. So by following each step very correctly and like very precisely, you can like you can ensure that the cake is baked correctly every time. uh, then next strategy is heuristics. So these are like mental shortcuts that simplify problem solving. So unlike algorithms, heuristics, like they don't guarantee a correct answer, but they often lead to a satisfactory solution that will help you to solve the problem more in a without like reducing it will reduce the complexity of a problem. So like in algorithm, as we use like a very step by step procedure, in heuristic there are brain uses mental shortcuts. So there are different types of heuristics that people use that helps them to solve a problem or to learn something. So for example, if a person is stuck in traffic and they might make an impulsive decision to take a different route. So even though they don't know the exact way, but maybe on the Google Maps or something, they are finding any other way. So without any other thought, just to avoid the traffic, without thinking of anything, they will just take another route. So this is one of the example of heuristic. Or someone who has just someone has got an offer of a job and they need it at that time, like they are in very much need of it. So without thinking of any other thing, they might accept it without getting into the further details. So or a family that chooses to move to another city or another country, so they might not be familiar with the language, the culture, or the area, but just because they are in need or there is some important thing, they might have to move on. So these are different types of heuristic examples that people use as a way to solve a problem. Next is, as someone correctly pointed out, key trial and error approach. So it involves testing different solutions to a problem until one works. So this approach is often used like when the correct solution is not immediately obvious and the problem allows for multiple attempts. So so it is like a so when we use trial and error approach to problem solving, it involves trying a number of potential solutions so that we can arrive to a solution or specific solution in a more easy way. Next is insight. So insight involves like suddenly realizing the solution to a problem. So often after considering it for a while, or you are just trying to just find a solution, but you're not able to get to a solution. So insight usually occurs very unexpectedly, and it might seem as a miracle, and the solution seems to come out of nowhere. For example, a designer that is struggling to like come up with a logo for a brand or something, so they might just go for a walk or just to relax, and they might be inspired by a pattern they see in nature, which will lead to like any innovative design solution. So Different problem solving strategies are suited to different types of people, and understanding these strategies help in choosing the most effective approach for a given problem, improving both efficiency and also the success in problem solving tasks. So the last 10 minutes of our there are some MCQ that you will answer me. So just related to what we have studied, what we have gone through. So you can just unmute and answer. So which method of problem solving is fast but not too accurate? We just right. So if some next is if someone fails to think about using an object outside its intended use, what it is called?
Functional fixedness.
Functional fix.
Right. So next is experts in a given field prefer heuristics to algorithms because heuristics
Save time.
Yeah, that's correct. Next is if we know that all dogs have tails and thus poodles must have tails, we are demonstrating.
I'm not sure, but inductive reasoning.
Yeah, that's right. So like inductive reasoning, so
Wouldn't
it involves
wouldn't this
no,
be
it's actually
deductive?
deductive.
Yeah, because we're deducing the fact that
Right.
poodles would have tails. Yeah.
So deductive reasoning, as it involves drawing specific conclusions from general premises. Next is functional fixedness refers to
The tendency to use an object only in the way it is traditionally used.
right. So it is a cognitive bias that limits a person's ability to think about any alternative use for a specific object. Next is which of the following is an example of critical thinking?
Analyzing the pros and cons of different career options.
Right. Next is problem solving is defined as the process of
Finding a solution to complex or difficult issues.
right. So the first step in problem solving process is
Identifying
solution.
very easy. Which of the following techniques is associated with enhancing creativity in problem solving?
Brainstorming.
Right. The concept of insight in problem solving refers to so we have discussed in the problem solving strategies. Insight.
Would it be A, like gradually working through a problem step by step
I
using?
think it's B.
Right.
Suddenly
So as I've
realizing
yes,
solution.
it might we might think that the solution came out of nowhere or like a miracle. So B is the answer. Suddenly realizing the solution to a problem. Next is in problem solving, the confirmation bias refers to
focusing on information that confirms the existing beliefs.
right. And next is the last one is which type of reasoning involves drawing specific conclusions from general principles.
Deductive
Deductive
reasoning.
reasoning.
Yeah, I guess it has been repeated. So we are done. So do you guys have any questions?
Do we have any questions?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
All right.
Can-
Yes, we can close.
Can-
Thank you so much, Anushka, for the presentation. Thank you, everyone, for the participation. It was really
Yes.
interactive from your side.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can I leave?
Yes, Anushka, you can stop sharing.
Yes.